And I mean, it's like 500 yards up this river. And I look and I'm like, dude, there he is, just laying in probably like a foot of water. And so then the private landowner, he's like, oh, well, I guess he ended up dying on public land anyways. Like, you're good. And I was like, sweet. Like, he had just crossed the corner and then made it to the river. And I don't know if he ran down the river, if he floated down the river, what happened, but he was on public land. And so, so the game warden's like, I'll just get over there with you. We had to bushwhack through this nasty, nasty stuff. And we get to the river. I go out there. I just take my boots off. I'm like, I brought extra boots, but I also just don't want wet boots in camp all week. So I take my boots off, just walk out there. And that the old timer who told us where the bull was, he goes, man, if you can get that thing down to me, I've got a winch and I can just winch him up out of the river for you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Like, this is so much better. He goes, all I ask is that I get a slice of the liver. And I'm like, okay. And I turn to the game warden. I go, hey, this doesn't qualify as like payment for services, does it? Like, cause you can't, pay someone with meat or get payment for meat. And he goes, no, that sounds like a gift to me. And I go, okay, perfect. And so then this old timer goes, hey, you know what? Actually, I got a full-size excavator coming down. He's got to unload this generator out of my truck. He goes, I could probably just have him drive down and scoop that bull up for you. And I go, bro, if you do that, I will give you the whole liver and a quarter. If you'll have him pick it up, put it in your truck bed and drive that back to my camp. And he goes, you got yourself a deal. So we literally float this bull 500 yards downriver. Like, at one point we're like armpit deep in the water, floating, like walking this bull down the river. And we ended up pulling it up on the private land side. And this guy comes down with an excavator. I hook a chain around the front leg and then through the tendon on the back leg and then loop it up through the bucket. And he just picks the whole bull up out of the river, spins it around, drops it in the truck bed. And I'm like, what kind of wild roller coaster like elk hunt is this? Like, I go from not having my license, missing the first morning and the first evening, and then I see elk, and then we get on elk, and I get a shot, but then it crosses private. Then we have to get the landowner. Then this guy finds it. I'm like, it was just insane. The emotional highs and lows were absolutely wild. So he ended up bringing it all the way back to camp for us. I said, since you brought it all the way back, like, we're going to go and gut it, because that's one thing that the landowner said. They didn't want us gutting it on their property. Yeah. And so I was like, I'll just take it back behind camp somewhere, and just gut it. Like, we're not bear hunting. We're not doing anything. So, like, dropping guts anywhere isn't a big deal. And so we just took it back away from our camp a little bit, gutted it, and then I just put it on my trailer and drove the whole thing in to get processed. And so I'm like, I literally drive a full elk in, and I was like, dude, this is just the wildest ride I've ever had elk hunting. The easiest pack out, obviously. Like,
yeah, that's not a packout, buddy. Like,
listen. For reference, for anybody who kills an animal like that size in the water, if it's deep enough for that animal to float, use the river. Like,
yeah,
it was so easy to just navigate. It sucked barefoot in the water, like I was stepping on rocks and junk. But like, if I would have had my Crocs with me, I would have thrown my Crocs on and just walked down the river with this elk. And yeah, so literally didn't ever have to pick up the elk at any point. Didn't have to throw any weight on my pack. It was awesome.